Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Align Mentor and our weekly call. We really appreciate everybody being here. Today we're actually going to be talking about omnipresence, what it means, what it can do for you, not only for mindset, but also for your business as well, because being omnipresent is key in your business. So I'd like to start off with the definition of, what omnipresence really is. It's when you look it up, it's the state of being widespread or constantly encountered. So omnipresence, being everywhere all the time. So when it comes to social media, you know, always being out there, always putting out content. And it doesn't necessarily mean always put out business content. And really, today is going to be all about that. And while I do put out content, Tanya puts out so much more than I do. She is much better at letting you know how we can do this, how it can really affect your businesses. So, Tanya, why don't you take us into how we can all become better with our omnipresence and do better getting our content out?
Sure. I would like to actually start with the fact that just getting it out there is better than not. We're going to start with that because how do I say it? It's perfect is never done and done is never perfect. Just doing it, getting it out there, being a real person is what actually is the essence of what people want. People don't want perfection. People want to see the ugly real side of humanity. They want to know your life and you are your brand, whether you are just going about working for somebody else and helping somebody else's business meet their dreams so that you meet your dreams that way, or if you're an entrepreneur and you have decided that you are going to build this giant empire and anywhere in between. So where you fall on that, like you want to feel out, like think for a minute what your brand is going to represent. So start with that. And it's okay to be at the beginning of that and not have any concept about how to get to big names like Hermes or Kenneth Cole. And I brought both of those up for a reason. And we're going to start with Hermes. Hermes, the orange color is what it's known for. It stands for the brand. But did you know that when Hermes came out, the only color available at the printing was that orange, and they hated it, but they wanted to launch, so they went ahead and did it anyway, and it became one of their biggest assets. So I feel that that's just kind of unique, and it shows you how sometimes what you think isn't going to work actually can work. The other one that I want to talk about a minute is Kenneth Cole. Kenneth Cole wanted to start their shoe company, and they wanted to rent a booth at the in New York City, but the expense for it was cost prohibitive. So they were like, okay, let's think outside the box for a second and let's rent a trailer. And they researched that, and the only trailers that were allowed to be parked on the street in the area where this fair was going on were movie and production trailers. So they painted on the side of the trailer. What did they paint? Kenneth Cole Productions Inc. And they applied for the permit, and the permitting office thought it was a movie production. So they filmed the birth of a shoe company was what they went with. And that's thinking completely outside of the box, right? And that is literally how Kenneth Cole was birthed. They had a trailer parked on the street and they used it as a shop. That is outside of the box thinking. And that's how you have to think with your branding. You want to think different. You don't want to be cookie cutter like everybody else. Having said all of that, you do just want to put stuff out there. You want to make yourself known. So, first, decide who you are. And then just start videotaping all of it. The restaurant you're at, the pool party, the barbecue. 80% of the stuff that you are going to be putting out into social media has to be real life B-roll stuff, stuff that isn't shoving salesy things down people's throats because nobody wants that. But if you're putting out cool content, like look at this cool new dress I found or whatever, right? Like this fantastic new restaurant that we're at. It's all wonderful and just put all of it out there.
Tanya,
That's
could you explain B content? I don't know if all of our listeners here live or on the who's watching the recording is going to understand that. So could you go a little deeper into that?
sure. B-roll content is life, all of the life content, all of the things that aren't specific for your brand, but they're specific for you, right? So if you're going to restaurants, if you're going to the beach, if you're going to the amusement park, if you're taking your dogs on a walk, all of your actual life is considered B-roll stuff. Breakfast in the morning, brushing your teeth, beauty regimen. Like people want to see what you do while you're also adding value. So let's say you're involved in supplements. Well, while you're preparing your breakfast, you're literally taking your supplements and you're doing it while you're talking about your plans for the day. But people are watching what you're doing while you're putting your brand in there subtly without like being overt about it. But also, there will be times where you're overt about it. So, when you're specifically designing things for your brand, that's A roll. Production, full on planning it out. B roll is just living your life. Does that clear it up, Dan?
Yeah, no, I wanted you to kind of actually go, considering you said B roll, that means there must be an A roll. So, what's A roll? What's B roll? Is there a C roll? Is there?
So
I don't
it's
know.
yeah, no. So it's A and B roll, and A roll is the stuff that you plan out with precision, and you have a an outline and a detailed plan on how you want it to look. And B roll is everything else, life happening while you're building your business. Where was I? I was in the middle of something. I don't remember where I was. So deciding what platform is best to start with is determined by your brand and who you serve. Like, who are you helping? Who are the people that you help? And each of the different platforms has a subset of people that might fit that. So Facebook is for the older generation. You're going to find the boomers on there. So if you're selling to people over 50 or 70 and your help, so let's say your niche is aging gracefully or life after retirement or some things like that. Facebook is a great spot for you to be in. If you're looking for a little bit more edgy and younger, Instagram might be your spot, or TikTok, depending on whether or not you feel comfortable with the fact that they might be banning it. Who knows, right? Like there's also YouTube and Pinterest and LinkedIn. So you're going to want to figure out which demographic might work best with your specific niche and focus on learning that platform first. But while you're doing that, you should be posting your content everywhere, putting it out there to everyone. And the way to do that is to create a calendar for yourself because there's no other way to get it done. And there are several different tools that allow you to have the ability to plan something out in advance and then not worry about it. I have a strategic way to doing our social media calendar. The last Sunday of every month, I sit down and spend like 4 hours just posting out content that we have built a library of, as well as continue to build stuff during the month. So what I mean by that is, so I have a library of a year's worth of podcasts that I have clipped up on a beautiful application called opus.pro. That is OPUS.pro. They have a free version, but they have a paid plan and it's only $20 a month. And you get 5 or 6 hours worth of content that they will cut up for you. Right now, with the pro plan, which is the paid plan, they have a calendar also in beta testing, and it's beautiful. So as you upload your YouTube video into it for it to cut it into segments, and they have multiple options on the segments that you can cut it into 30 seconds to 60 seconds, all the way up to 10 minutes. So whatever suits your need, whatever suits your need is what you want to do here. And you can upload it, have it pull the clips, and then take a look through the clips. And when it pulls the clips for you, it automatically puts captioning in it, which is beautiful. So now you don't have to put it into another software and caption it. So that will save you so much time. You build a library, you can send it directly out from that library. It'll allow you to send out everything that you have uploaded in the last 30 days. It will also allow you to upload your own videos that you have created. So if you use CapCut or other editing software to make your social medias, you can do that and you can put it all in here. And you can add social medias from right now, they have 6 or 7 of them that currently link with that. But if you have more than, like for Dan and I'm able to link Dan's social medias to it as well. So I'm able to just go into that and pick which of that I want it to go. So if I want a specific piece to go to both of our TikToks, I can do that. If I want a specific piece to go to every single one of our social medias that's attached to it, I can do that. And this beautiful program also puts in hashtags for you, and you can add to it, you could subtract from it, but it gives you ideas on stuff that you might not have thought to hashtag your content. So I think that is a beautiful system. Meta has a calendar system for if you have a business page with Meta. So you can also link your Instagram to that and you can post to Instagram and Facebook at the same time under that platform. And there are several other platforms out there that allow you to do calendar systems. So I use several at the same time. I'm also using a platform called Go High Level. They allow social medias to be attached to it too, but that's a completely different system. And if you're not building funnels, you don't need something quite that robust. So pick your platform first and then go for it. Dan, do you have anything to add at this moment?
Right now, no. I was thinking that I'm not even sure if we really have any questions right now in the chat. We don't.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's this is great because a lot of people don't really understand that when it comes to omnipresence, how many how often here's kind of something that I could help with or maybe
Oh yeah.
put my spin on is that when we're watching TV, you know, during the commercials that, that's when our time is to go up and do grab a snack or whatever else. But in the back, you hear it playing. What is it? Is it a chip commercial? Is it a drink commercial? Is it something from pharmaceuticals? You know, so which one do you hear the most? Think about it. Which one do you hear the most? And, you know, it's kind of when you're thinking about omnipresence, what ads do you see on your social media? Because some of them have them, Facebook has their ads. Or if you watch YouTube, the YouTube ads that come in all the time. Whoever's putting those out there or even paying for them, it comes down to also best known beats best. So that kind of ties back in with Tanya's statement where she said, just get it out there because perfect is never done and done is never perfect. So it really comes into that where, and this is one thing that our mentor says, is when it comes down to, you know, you know, best known beats best. Grant Cardone says that all the time because how much content do you see by any one of your other mentors that are out there, or any of the celebrities that are putting things out? It doesn't have to be Grant Cardone. It doesn't, it depends on what you're truly into. What do you see in the construction space? What do you see in the financial space? What do you see in crypto? What's the big one? Bitcoin. It, you know, Scotch tape, things like that, things that are actually what have become the industry standards, and it's just because they became the best known. Might not be the best product that is in that section, but everybody knows Scotch tape because it was the biggest and the most one out there. All it is it's actually called cellophane tape is what the true name is. It's not Scotch tape, cellophane tape. But Scotch is the 3M brand. Just like Velcro. Velcro is not called Velcro except in the common name. So these are the things what you hear with omnipresence. So they become those household things when they become the best known. So that's what I really have to add.
No, that was perfect. And it reminds me to tell everybody that nobody sees it. Like, go in there and just assume nobody is seeing your content with algorithms and people's attention spans being you have to capture somebody's attention within I think it's 1.2 seconds now, and that keeps getting shorter as we become more doom scrolly on our phones. That also reminds me that in order for somebody to even recognize that they've seen it before or heard about it or recognize your brand, and not this is not even buy, but just to even have the cognition in their head that, oh yeah, I've seen this before. It's like 7 to 17 touch points, and then they might consider buying at that point. So you have to put out there so much content for them to see that. So that's why it's super important to hit all platforms. And posting once a week is not going to get you there. You need to post 6 to 8 times a day per platform that you're choosing to do on. And you can start with one in the beginning if that's where you're comfortable, but just start. That's the importance here. So start with one, and you're going to do a combination of pre-made things, whether you're creating little videos on your phone, or you do a podcast, or you have a blog, or whatever it is, but you also want to do live videos, and you absolutely want to do life things. You want to create B-roll content, and you want to put all of that out there because people are going to stop following your page or your social media. What's the
Content.
word? My what?
Content. They're going to just
Uh,
stop following you,
they're just
really.
going to stop following you if all they see from you is sales stuff. So you don't want to do that. You want to value add. The the real essence of it is give all of the good stuff away for free. People will pay you again to hear it a second, third, and 15th time. So just give away your good content. Serve to deserve. Stormy Wellington says that all the time. She is absolutely phenomenal. So be the resource you were looking for 2 years ago. put out the content, talk about the thing. So a lot of the things that I talk about are navigating the after effects of my cancer story, right? 17 years later, there are still things that happen with my body because I went through that part of my life, but I went through it and I'm still here. So I'm super grateful to be here. But there are challenges that have come into play because of that. And I talk about that. And that's important because now people are living 20, 40, and 50 years after a cancer diagnosis. And the medical society is just now going, oh, yeah, we should figure out what some of these long-term side effects might be. So I talk about that all day long on my social medias because that's super important to me, but it's not necessarily relevant to the items that I'm selling, but it's part of who I am, right? So I help build connection with people by being honest about pooping my pants in public or not having teeth. And the dog ate my teeth the other day. So now we're just going to go with no teeth until we can get new teeth. And that's how it is. But that's the real side of humanity. And people need that in this day and age where everything is digital and we're disconnected on a personal level. People are craving that person to person touch. So be as authentic to yourself as you can be. That's going to serve you the best in the long run anyway. People know when you're fake. So just be yourself. Okay. So, and I had another point. Brain is buffering again. Give me a moment.
So while you're thinking about that one, I want to circle back to something you said about your content and assuming it's not seen. So one thing that you can also do, reuse the same content and just repost it. You know, that duplicates your content. So what if you had it? So what if you put it out before? If you assume that it hasn't been seen, if you go look at your analytics on any of your platforms, oh, it got seen by how many people? Well, post it again. Who cares? Because then it's going to get out again. And that's just more content for you that's out in the world, that's out there floating around. It's doing the job you want it to do. Get the exposure, become omnipresent. It's just like Tanya said, post it. Doesn't matter. Just post it.
Yes, absolutely. Just post it. You will start to build up a library. So you'll have a social media content library, and that is important. And you just maintain it on the back end. And when you're doing your monthly calendar or bi-weekly or however you decide to set up the schedule to do that. So over the course of the entire month, I'm building content and I'm sticking it into the library so that at the end of the month, I have stuff to use and I integrate old stuff because people didn't see it back then. And if they did, they certainly don't remember it 3 months later. Reuse. You can rebrand it. You can reclip it. You can zhuzh it up, as it were, or you could
Right.
just repost it the way it was. That is important to say, as well as Dan was talking about best known beats best. Everybody knows McDonald's. Not everybody wants to eat that, but you know exactly what you're going to get when you go to that McDonald's. And if you're driving from New Jersey to California and you're passing mom and pop stuff and you're like, I don't know, but you know what you're going to get at McDonald's. So a lot of people will just choose the known over the unknown. So that's why it's important to be known and just put the content out there. You were going to say
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. And now I kind of lost it, but it's kind of when you were talking, oh, that's what it is about when you're rebranding. It's um using, if you go somewhere, and if it's in your business, I'm gonna go on the business side with this one. Well, Tanya and I were out in Dubai last year, and we had a great time at a great event with a couple of our mentors. and they're putting it on again. It's coming up in September, the end of September, and we'd love for all of you guys to come with us. So we actually have something going on where with our mentorships here that we would love to bring you with us to Dubai. So if you want to get to Dubai and have a 10x super life, I think this is a great opportunity for you. So we should definitely talk about it on things like that. When it becomes omnipresent, our mentors are putting things out even more than we are. And we're putting out a fair amount of content. And they just surpass us. They're on a different level, which is awesome. But we can reuse our content that we created from a year ago and reuse it, especially to show what we've done. Show people what you do. It doesn't matter when you did it, whether it was a year ago. Dubai. We were in Alaska in April. We're doing all of these things. We've been to Miami. We've been to Las Vegas with all of these types of things, and with the events that we do. And we would love to bring you along with us. So come join us, and we'll drop the links below. And we'd love for you to come.
Yes, absolutely. We're offering a special deal for mentorship, uh, group one-on-one stuff, a whole bunch of freebies, and a Black Diamond ticket to Dubai. We'll post that link. We're going to be posting that very shortly. I'm almost done building that funnel.
I'm,
Yes,
oh,
sir.
come on. Why isn't it posting it? There's the link.
There's the link.
There's the link right there. We've put it in. It's there. It's not done, but so what? That's the link to come to Dubai.
Or they could just DM us. We'll just
Or
DM us
DM us with,
Dubai and we'll hook you up. So let's get back to our scheduled program. I want to talk. I would like to do an exercise now. Actually, I want you to think about the brands that you recognize and respect. So think about a couple of brands that you recognize and respect. And then you're going to want to figure out, how do you rip off and duplicate, or as Brandon Dawson likes to say, model, mimic, master, but with your own flair, right? So like, how do you use that brand identity for yourself? How do you recreate it into your own image? And then I want you to think about which platform fits your brand best and why. And then we're going to talk about, how do you use this knowledge? So we're going to give everybody 5 minutes to do that. We're going to go offline for 5 minutes. So I'll type all that into the chat box for everybody. All right. I hope everybody did well with that. So now we are going to talk about how we use that knowledge. So once you have decided what brands that you want to emulate, you're going to consider how your niche reacts to that. And you're going to do a little session where you write down all of your ideas. And then I highly recommend finding a partner in the WhatsApp group or reaching out to one of us and just bouncing the ideas off of us and letting us help you with that. Super easy to do. The more you talk with a trusted individual about it, the more ideas you get. So like when you're having a conversation with yourself, sometimes you get in your own way, but when you talk to somebody else about it and you're like, this is what I want to do, and they can give you some ideas, some you won't like, but some you'll absolutely love. And then you can just incorporate that in your social media calendar. You're going to have to create a social media calendar. You're going to put on your calendar when you're posting. If it's not in your calendar, it doesn't happen, right? So put it in your calendar when you're posting. When are you going to sit down and create the content? Whether you're going to have planning sessions for the content and plan everything out, what you want to do, when you want to do it, or if you're a little bit more fly by the seat of your pants kind of, or you want to use both of these methodologies. That's me. I plan stuff out, but I also wing stuff. And sometimes the planned stuff is the better stuff, and sometimes the wing stuff is the better stuff. So you're going to have to figure out what works for you. And the only way to do that is doing it. So just do it. You will quickly figure out what works and what doesn't for you specifically. And that's the important part. Just going out there and doing it, picking up your phone and doing a live. If you don't want to do content showing your face, you absolutely can create brand content that is faceless and just show everything else and just talk. There's also ways to use AI to create a AI generated brand ambassador so that you have a little AI generated meeple that does all of the talking for you instead of yourself. But I highly encourage just putting yourself out there. I do understand that there are situations where you cannot do that, and that is okay. But you no longer have to let showing your face be a reason to not promote your brand, because you can have a true brand identity faceless. There are many out there. Like, there's no actual spokesperson for Nike, right? It's a swoosh. That's the brand identity. McDonald's is the arches. That's the brand identity. So you can absolutely do it. There are huge ones out there that are killing it. And if you want to do faceless brand identity, it's completely doable. Do we have any questions at this time? Do not see any questions at this time. Nope. Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk a minute about recommended books that might help you. Crush It. Why Now is the Time to Cash In on Your Passions by Gary Vaynerchuk. Hey, he's well known in the brain buffering, the coaching, uh, omnipresence, mentorship, mindset bubble. That's the word I want to use. Jab, 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 right hook. Also, Gary Vaynerchuk. Am I saying his name right? I'm probably not. And Contagious, How to Build Word of Mouth in the Digital Age by Jonah Berger. So these are just a couple of resources that you can go ahead and take a look at to help you with your social media. And as always, you can reach out to us in the WhatsApp private group if you have any questions. But that's what we have for you today. Thank you for being here.
We really appreciate you. Have a great week, everyone. Talk to you soon.